Hi to everybody and welcome back from the break. We will now turn our attention to Verkkokauppa. I hope I said it right, Mikko, but else you will say it correctly. The dominant e-commerce player in the Finnish market. So let's hear a little bit about the investment case in that.
Yeah, thank you, Michael. I think you pronounce it very well. So hello and good morning to everyone. So my name is Mikko Forssell. I'm the CFO of the Verkkokauppa.com here in Finland. And I could say today it's very freezing and cold Finland with plenty of snow already here in Helsinki area as well. So we have 20 minutes time, a bit less, to for me to give the overview of the Verkkokauppa.com. So I will briefly go through some of the the key things from our perspective with the following agenda. Bit of a history of the company. So we have been more or less in the business for 30 years already, and the time is passing and goes with a great speed as such. So bit of a history of the company, where we are today, and then we focus on what are then the next thing from the company perspective that we will be focusing. So if you look at the history of the company, so I think what we used to say here is that we are more or less born online, and just prior the whole the internet even started. So we were the first in that area and started really online with some bulletin board system. I don't know whether we are familiar with that terminology anymore at all, but really being able to facilitate the customers to do the purchases online in the web, and then we have been shipping the goods based on those orders really from the very beginning. But actually, if we look at the history, I think it was 98 that we opened up the own facilitated, our own built the web shop for us. And since that time, we have been constantly building up the capabilities based on the own technology. So we have the own technology stack, which are then facilitating for us the the whole business in terms of the web shop, as well as the the back-end facilities, what you could call it as a ERP system. At the same time, we have been building up the capabilities. Of course, we have been extending our business and being able to grow over the decades, year by year, throughout the whole history of the company. Some of the milestone what we have put here. So 2007 we reached the 100 million euro sales. What could be mentioned here that we really started from the consumer electronics, which is still the key area for us. But over the years, starting mainly on 2010 onwards, we have been really also broadening up our assortment and really going to the new areas, not only in the consumer electronics. We became a public company in 2014, so we listed here in Helsinki Stock Exchange to the First North list, and at the same time continue to build up the capabilities. And 2020 we then moved to the main list or official list in Helsinki Nasdaq exchange. Since that time, we have also renewed our strategy, which I briefly go through in more detail in coming slides as well. And then we actually did the first acquisition for the company, understanding that we need to build up the capabilities in terms of the sourcing and private label business. So we did some acquisition early this year. If we sum up where we are today, in terms of some key numbers here, so we have more than 80 million visitors on our website on an annual basis now. And well, you know, guys, that in Finland we have approx have 5.5 million inhabitants here living. So quite a few of us are visiting on a regular basis on our website. We have kind of split the business, we have the online, which is kind of the key area for us, but we also have 4 mega stores around Finland, which you will see in the following slides as well. So we kind of believe that this omni-channel approach, where you have the online, strong presence on online, but you tend to have also need for some physical kind of the presence in some key areas, which we have in our business model. We are focusing on the B2C business, so consumer business mainly, but continue building up the B2B part as well. So the small and mid-sized enterprises are also have the same needs as individuals, and we have been able to find a good combination of kind of combining the great capabilities on online, which the individuals or end consumers need, that are also very well appreciated by the small businesses as well as the enterprise businesses nowadays. Then one important thing, of course, nowadays is that as a company we have been kind of focusing on the sustainability issues over the past decades already, really kind of securing that we have kind of in terms of the circulation, recycling, things are well managed, and of course the kind of CO2 emissions that we have in our own operations has been the key. And what I find it interesting is that we actually conducted during this year this kind of survey to our customers, and we kind of got more than 18,000 responses from our customers asking what do they appreciate in terms of the recycling as well as the sustainability topics. And this was something that the kind of on this slide you see some of the kind of the key findings from out of that. But in short, people would like to have that there is a durability of those products that they purchase, and they would like us to see that there is a capability also in the long term. If you don't always need to have the kind of the new product available for you, it could be also recycled or kind of the second-hand product that you could also purchase. And this for us also of course gives us insight in terms of that if we want to kind of develop the business as we do, gives us some sort of good indication where to head next when we kind of plan the next strategic things for us. I already briefly mentioned that we kind of renewed the strategy. It kind of goes now back 1.5 years. And in this, we kind of see the 4 cornerstones that for us as a company, these are our kind of the key areas that we focus and believe that doing correct things in these areas, that is the kind of the great recipe to be the winner in this game in e-commerce. So we are kind of constantly seeing that our assortment that we are offering to our customers is wide enough in the selected categories. And during the years, nowadays we have more than 90,000 individual products on our website available for our customers. And this is something that we have been constantly building up based on the customer needs and requirements and extended to kind of the assortment for us. Experience, so how we kind of secure that the customers are always kind of getting the best possible experience. It kind of goes us with the idea that for us it doesn't really matter whether the customers are first kind of having the view on the website the product and then goes to kind of the store to actually make the purchases, or other way around, that they first would like to visit the physical store and then they go home and do their own research and then take the decision to purchase online. And that's why we are talking about this omni-channel experience. So we are building up the capabilities so that for the customer perspective, we make sure that the kind of the journey, regardless where it will start, it will be as smooth as possible throughout the whole customer or purchasing journey. And for that purposes, we have this own developed, own managed ERP or own technical capabilities around that one. So whenever we are seeing that we need to improve something in the process, we have the capabilities to do that by ourselves. Then the speed and flexibility is something that we have kind of really recognized that that's something that will be the kind of the key topic for our customers. So if you really ask from the customer perspective, what are the things that they really value, is that the first thing is always that they need to understand that whether the product is available, and if the product is available, how fast they are able to kind of get that product for their usage. And that's something that we have been really focusing on. On the next slide, you will also see that what kind of ambition level we have for that development. And of course, the trust is something that is increasingly important as going forward. So we are transparently showing to our customers what other customers are kind of rating our products, what they feel that are good in terms of the products, and we kind of increased transparency over the everything that we do here internally, so that the customer can be certain that when they take the decision to purchase from us, that they will kind of always get the high quality in respect of all the areas for the customer relationship. Then if we look at the bit, taking some of the snapshot in terms of the strategic cornerstones, that what we have been doing in terms of the speed and flexibility, just to kind of give you some flavor what has been our focus now lately. So we have been investing here in Helsinki. We have in the city center almost our kind of the flagship store. We have also big logistics operations here. We have just built up the kind of the automated warehouse for us, which populates almost 20,000 SKUs, different products that we are able to kind of store in this automated storage, as well as dispatching those to our customers with the increased speed versus the really kind of the manual warehouse. Addition to that one, we have been just with kind of go some weeks back that we have also kind of automation in terms of the packaging, which we have now built up very lately. It kind of really brings the efficiency and kind of the also in terms of reducing the kind of the need for kind of excess kind of the distributing or kind of sending only air, so we are really able to optimize the packaging size, so that that we can utilize all the things that the automation is nowadays bringing on in terms of the speed, as well as kind of the green topics related to that one. And then we have this pickup locker. As such, it may sound not that big thing, but from our side, we are also kind of taking into consideration the customer experience. So it's basically the parcel locker that it is in-house here, meaning that when the customers are ordering their products, they can order directly to this pickup locker, and they can actually utilize their own mobile devices to kind of do that in terms of the opening the locker and so forth. So it's a bit of a gadget at the same time. Then we have also kind of the Dette, interesting product as such. So we are actually giving some financing for our customers in terms of if they want to have the flexibility and kind of doing the purchases on this account that we have available for our customers. Really well kind of taken by our customers, especially during these times where we are today. Couple of words related to this one. So interesting thing, still kind of going back to the strategy and how we see it. So as we have only 4 stores, and as you know, the Finland in terms of the landscape it's a big country as such, but today we are already able to cover basically 70% of our Finnish population and delivering the goods by the next day. And we have kind of set the ambition level for coming years that we will be in the position that 90% of our population in Finland, we should be able to serve next day, and even 50% during the same day. So I think that's something that it is quite unique in terms of kind of the setup. And if we think about this global or international players, without them having kind of the physical setup and platform here, it will be very difficult to kind of compete with this promise that we have for our customers. That was shortly about the strategy and the company. Then only very shortly still about the kind of the, let's say, performance in terms of how the business has developed. And of course, from the investor perspective, it is important to understand that what are kind of the key drivers for the company. So as it is being the case, so we have been kind of growing over the years in terms of the top line. We have had an excellent 2 last years, also driven by the kind of the COVID and the pandemic, kind of giving a bit of a tailwind. Now we are kind of clearly heading towards the headwind, as we all know in this business. But I think all in all, this year will be difficult for us, as we have already indicated, but we have kind of good plans how to take it further as going forward. So, and in terms of the dividend, I think that's also important to understand that the company has a kind of the policy that we are kind of paying the quarterly growing dividend. So something that it's interesting, especially with these kind of the share prices that we are currently having. So the yield is quite lucrative in my perspective. As I mentioned, this year is a bit of a challenge, no question about that one. So the revenue will be somewhat lower than in the previous year, and this is the first time in the company history that we are in this position, unfortunately. We still have some good things happening at the same time. So this B2B business, which is important for us, kind of continue to grow, which is visible here. We have invested during this year, so this new acquisition in terms of the Eville, which we completed, and then also this automation that we have done in the warehousing is some key investment that we have been doing. So when the kind of the overall kind of the turnaround will happen, I think we will be in a good position to take it further. Then I think it's fair to say that in respect of the kind of how we see, if we look at the kind of the outlook in the short term, I think there are still plenty of uncertainties that what will happen during the especially first half of the next year. So we kind of see that in Finland that the kind of the inflation and energy prices are then kind of clearly impacting the consumer behavior, and of course the purchasing power at the same time. And it's something it's very visible, but for us it is also kind of clear that this is only kind of the temporary thing, that it will start to eventually turn around, and having the kind of the platform and setup that we have as a company. So we believe that we are in the good position then to take advantage when things will be going again more favorable, so there will be a bit other business climate that where we are today. And for that reason, we have already kind of said that we have basically 2 different kind of time span or time dimensions. We now focus as a next thing to kind of making sure that we are kind of profitable, or kind of be returning to kind of clearly on the different level in terms of the profitability. We have already identified that what are kind of the key things that we ought to do we have already started during this year, but especially next year, what are then the key things that we will be focusing. But at the same time, we understand that when things will be kind of going the other direction, that we will continue to build up the capabilities for the long term growth and kind of the business development at the same time. So there are B2B side interesting things, as mentioned, that these life cycle services and sustainability related things will create a new business, and we will be then hopefully capturing fair part of that one as we go. And then also having 80 million visits on our website on a yearly basis, that gives you some sort of capabilities also to potentially use that more as a media platform at the same time. And different kind
Mikko,
of
unfortunately, we are running a little bit out of time, so if you should catch
yes,
some questions, if that's okay, because I think
this was actually my last slide, so I'm more than happy to take the questions if there will be any. So yeah, sorry guys about this.
No. Yeah, but Mikko, and I think we're actually talking a little bit about it. Do you have more focus on growth or margins in the coming years? You know, when you talk to e-commerce players, you know, some have focused only on growth, some has also started to look a little bit on the margin side. How are you cutting this pie?
Yeah, very valid question. I think in short term, I think we also kind of need to have more focus on the profitability or margin side. I think that's kind of clear that in terms of having the very difficult business environment, so growth as such should not be the driver unless you kind of clearly see the benefit out of that one. And for us, we kind of see that short term it will be profitability and making sure that we are kind of building up the proper capabilities then to be ready for the growth that's going forward.
And then there's a question I have seen it being asked every time there's an e-commerce player. The threat of Amazon and Finland, you touched upon it. Is it your technology stack? Is it your way to distribute that things that they are not going to be a threat in your country if they come in?
Yeah. I think if I very shortly try to comment that one, we are not afraid of Amazon at all, because I think in a way Amazon is here already. The only thing that they are not here is physically. So before they are kind of building up the kind of the local kind of the platform kind of physical warehousing or distribution, prior to that one, I think it will be it won't change the game changer as such. And as you know, Finland, in terms of the kind of the geography, having only one location here, having 5.5 million population, I don't know how the Amazon is doing their business cases, but I doubt that it will be the first country that they will be coming in near future.
Perfect. Thank you, Mikko. Unfortunately, we are running out of time.
Thank you very much for the opportunity, and I wish everyone participating then have a kind of good rest of the kind of the seminar, as well as then of course Merry Christmas when the time comes, and if you have any kind of possibilities then to visit here in Helsinki area, please come to visit us as well here in Verkkokauppa.